You guys don't have to laugh. Don't worry. I'm not totally super sensitive. I don't have a lot riding on this night. I wasn't born in the most sensitive month of the entire zodiac. I don't need you to laugh at my jokes in order for me to go to sleep tonight and know that I'm enough. I'm gonna be fine. I'm already fine. I didn't invite you here to tell some story about a hero's journey. Any literary buffs out there? Because if it was a hero's journey, it would have started with an exit from ordinary life. Because me, the hero, but that's not the story, answered a call and crossed a threshold and came across enemies and allies and had to do battle and had to do battle again and won the battle. And then it didn't end there. There was one final test, and then there was a resurrection. So I haven't invited you to this event. This is not my resurrection. Lower your standards. Like immediately. Because if I was that hero, I would have gotten the call and pretended like the call wasn't happening and denied the call and then lied to you about, I don't know what call. I just updated my phone, I don't know. And then I would have sent it straight to voicemail when I was out of opportunities to lie about that was actually happening. And then I would have bitched about who the fuck calls people on the phone anymore. So I'm no hero. And this is no story about a hero. And I'm not overly sensitive and I don't need your approval, so you don't have to laugh. However, I am up here just a teacher. We have any teachers out there tonight? Thank you. You do important work, and it's more important work than anybody else in my backyard right now. Y'all remember that. So as a teacher, I have had some experience with teaching people, and I teach people whether you want to be taught or not, and I teach people whether you're in a classroom or not, and usually I teach you what not to do. And that's kind of what my life is. It's like one long, drawn-out process of elimination about how not to live your life. And y'all are welcome. Right? Like, there's mistakes, right? Like if I say, Jill, don't touch the stove because it's hot, you're not going to touch it. But not me. I'm going to touch that thing. I'm going to make sure. No, that's my job. So I'm really glad that I could be your teacher. But I haven't just taught people what not to do. I have taught a few things what to do. And in a long storied career of being a teacher, one of the things I got to teach was reproductive health.
Good.
I know. So that's weird for a lot of reasons. Wait for the punchline. The first reason that's weird is everybody in my backyard right now remembers the person that taught them reproductive health. So there's like just south of 350 used-to-be 10-year-olds walking around somewhere in Jefferson County right now who got the ins and outs of heterosexual sex from me.
That's awesome.
Now, I've had a checkered history, no doubt about it, but that is not a chapter in that book. And to add insult to injury, the person that taught me sex ed, Sister Mary marry Cecilia from Tennessee. We just pass our issues on generation after generation if we don't resolve this stuff, you know? So in the spirit of lowering your expectations and delivering sensitive content, encouraging you all to not laugh because I don't have a lot riding on this. I've already made it clear that this isn't a story of a hero. I want to make it clear one other thing before we do a little exercise I used to do with my former students. This is also not a midlife crisis. I researched it. Two things. I had my quarter life crisis really just like 2 years ago. So it can't be a midlife crisis. That would be too quick. But the second thing, in my research, Psychology Today, there's really reputable sources out there, I learned that a midlife crisis is marked by like fast cars. Nope. Got a bicycle. Botox. Definitely not. And a deep yearning for like narcissistic experiences. So, duh, I did not just like invite a bunch of my closest friends into my backyard so that I could stand on a stage and take you emotionally hostage while I talk in a microphone. This is definitely not a midlife crisis. Because I'm fine and I don't need you to laugh. All right, so get you warmed up. Every teacher knows a good teacher sets clear expectations in the beginning, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, so there's an exercise. We're going to do this exactly 3 times, no more, no less. Are you ready?
Yeah.
If you're not ready, you don't know the damn directions. It's really simple. I'm going to say a word, you're going to repeat it 3 times. You ready? Penis.
Penis. Penis.
You have to wait. Penis.
Penis.
I told you. They made an informed decision. I told them. I told them. And let's be real clear. I did this with 10-year-olds. All right? And everyone here is in the neighborhood of 10. Now, the 3rd time I say this, you can't laugh. If you laugh after the 3rd time we do this, then you're not going to be able to put your personal questions in the I Wonder box at the end of the session. Penis. All right, so you've demonstrated an ability not to laugh, so here we go. Thank you for coming. Y'all are beautiful. I'm super overwhelmed, and I'm going to get to that at the end. You guys look beautiful. It's ridiculous. This is a big deal for me. A lot of love out there. A lot of love out there. Anybody like love out there?
Woo! Yeah!
Got anybody married out there?
Woo!
Anybody about to be married? Anybody divorced? Anybody about to be divorced? You know, it's funny, like divorce doesn't play like love, right? Like, you ask people, anybody in love? They're like, yay! You ask anybody if they're divorced, they're like, damn straight. Worked hard to get here. Right? It's kind of weird, you know, like I was going through my divorce and I was like, I'm gonna reframe our understanding of divorce, you know, like when somebody tells me they're getting a divorce, I'm gonna say, congratulations. You're 2 people who decided to stop hurting each other. Good job. Right? So I had a couple of ideas about how I'm gonna, like, you know, change society. So I was like any good idea, you need a t-shirt, right? So I was like, okay. I had the design all mocked up in my head. It was gonna be like a baseball tee, you know, 3/4, black sleeve, white. And then the print was gonna be neon, like a blinking sign, right? And it was gonna say, divorce, the party. I was super stoked about it. Couldn't really work the line item for t-shirts into my budget. My divorce budget was a little tight. That's not the only idea that didn't get off the ground, though. I had another one that was going to be sweet. It was called Flash Mob of One. Like, you guys put on, like, you know, a proposal at Disneyland and you start crying because of a flash mob, but you guys are so judgmental when it's just like one of us, like, do. What's the difference, you know? Like, you get a group of people coordinated. You have any idea how hard it would have been to meet me to just in the middle of Larimer Square? Yeah. Get your drinks. Go to the market. Eat at Ted's. I mean, where's the love? Getting divorced is kind of tricky, you know, because you're working really hard, you know. You gotta, like, face some truths about things not going your way, and I think you gotta get real honest with yourself, and you gotta process a lot, you know. But then you also have to, like, still participate in the world, which is sort of hard sometimes. But I will say, if anybody's thinking about getting divorced, this part's cool. You show up at parties and nobody gives a shit if you bring anything. Right? Like, you show up to the potluck and they're like, oh, just sit down. Like when it comes to doing dishes, they're like, oh, you take a pass. We're just so glad you're here. You got out of bed today? That's awesome. And you're like, yeah, I did get out of bed. And that was awesome. You start to believe it, right? Like, your own expectations of yourself lower, right? I was like, I'm gonna wear sweatpants to dinner. Yep. I'm gonna wear my PJs to work. The baby's gonna puke on me in 10 minutes. Who cares? But it's hard though, right? Like, you're doing all this work. And so I obviously process things by, like, telling jokes. And I was so frustrated because, like, the divorce joke doesn't play, like, right? You lay one down at a cocktail party, and then instead of people laughing, they're like, like this Disney puppy dog look, like. And then pretty soon I'm like, no, it's okay. Like, I was a teacher. I didn't have that much in my life savings. It's okay. No. It was a really warm September. It was a good September to live in a tent. Oh my God. It's okay. Susie, it's okay. It's okay. So then you're, like, taking care of them. And you're like, oh man, at least I got my sweatpants. So I found myself in this position where I was conducting interviews, because it's, like, hard to be me, and the only thing that's harder than being me is being on my team of helping professionals. And I do have a team. Like, just to get me to exist in this world, I have a team of helping professionals. So I had recently, one of my life's greatest achievements, I was fired by the couples therapist. And so, you know, it's like, when you're managing a team, you got to fill the position. And the couples therapist was nice enough to make 2 recommendations for the new helper. And so, like any good consumer of therapy, I Googled these 2 people. You know, and they have their pictures and their list of things that they're qualified to help you with and what they specialize in. And I determined that my couples therapist had boiled me down to basically one thing, and that was a big gay wad. So I was like, okay, Helpy McHelperson Dikey number 1, Helpy McHelperson Dikey number 2. So I was sitting there, I was sitting there, in the intake meeting. They don't call it that, but it's an inquisition, right? And it's a super bummer because you got like one butt in the love seat, and you're snuggling the armchair of the love seat like super hard, you know, just to be there. And I'm really committed to this process. Like, I'm gonna own it, right? I'm interviewing her because she's gonna take my money, and I don't think I'm getting any better anytime soon. So I want to be really clear about who has the power, right? And I was in a place where I was gonna take power like wherever I could get it. And so I'm like, okay, I'm interviewing her, I'm ready, you know. And at some point, the script flips, right? And she's asking me questions. Yes, right? And I should have known that this was coming because of her list of things that she specializes in. And so she says, now, Courtney, what pronouns do you prefer? So I say, I made a mistake. I say, the regular ones. Now, she's been to therapy school, so she says, the regular ones? Now, I recognized immediately that I had made a grave mistake and that I needed to write this course immediately. So I said, female pronouns are fine. Fine? And then I lost control of the situation. So what I said was, look, I get up in the morning like everybody else and I think the same things and I just end up dressed like this. Like this.
Yeah!
Like this morning I was like, I like two things, the color blue and cotton. I hit it out of the park. Have you people touched cotton lately? That shit is the jam. And I'm convinced that if everybody felt like I do in women's undergarments, Target would always be sold out of Ninja Turtle underpants in the boys department. So I say, look, I like my anatomy. I'm perfectly fine with my breasts and my vagina, and I'm not looking at changing those. I just don't know what to tell you. There isn't anything to tell. It's not special. I just sort of feel like, I don't know, like maybe like somebody in a biracial couple in the 60s, or like somebody's gay friend in San Francisco in the 80s, or Ricky from My So-Called Life in the 90s. And instead of the puppy dog face, I got the Claire Danes face, like right before she's gonna ugly cry. And the helping professional says, you're right. It is sort of hip to ask now. And then she wrote a little note on her yellow pad. And now I'm really pissed because that's gonna go in her blog and I'm not gonna get any credit for it. I'm gonna be patient Q for questioning. But I'm not questioning, and thanks a lot, HIPAA, for the credit I don't get. There's a lot of like really terrifying stuff happening in our world, in our country today, and that is not why I brought you here. Some pretty weird stuff on the political stage, and I don't know what we do about that. But there is some stuff that's worth talking about. Like, I think bathroom legislation is a kick in the pants, right? Like, we've got people that are like, well, they're probably not the paid elected officials, but the paid elected officials' cronies that are like sitting in rooms, thinking really hard, and writing words down on a piece of paper about which bathroom people should use. And It's like, is it just me or did we do that already? And like it didn't work when we tried to tell people where to go and what to do and which bathroom to use. Like, we're done with that. Like, we don't need to revisit that, you know? Like, bathroom isn't really about like male or female, it's just about one or two. That's it. That is it. I needn't be concerned with any other aspects of the bathroom. But I think those people sitting in those rooms going to all this trouble to write down rules about who can use what bathroom, they're taking like a really short-sighted view, right? Like, take me for example. Like, do you have any idea how hard I have to work to use the ladies' room?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Yeah. Like the other day, I saw this woman. She was struggling. And I thought, you know what? I'm not a dick. I'm gonna help you. She had a double-wide stroller with twins in it and a toddler, like, somewhere. And she couldn't open the door, so I hustled forward, and I held the door for her, and she exited. And instead of saying thank you, after she exited, I entered, she said, "That's the ladies' room." How does she think that's gonna play? Like, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, thanks, I can't read." Right? Or I'm gonna be like, "Darn lady in the Cherry Creek Mall caught me right before I'm about to do my pervy stuff. Dang it." I should have been like, "Oh, you're not a dude?"
Yeah.
I just read this article about how dudes are starting to wear yoga pants. I thought you were breaking that deadbeat dad stereotype. You're killing it. How did she think that was gonna play? You can learn a lot in a bathroom, though. No, for real. I see it firsthand. So I run a preschool, and you learn a lot in a bathroom. You learn how to wait your turn. You learn how to promote health and wellness. You sing the whole happy birthday song while you get a rich lather and a surgeon scrub. Right? You learn the importance of wiping in the right direction. You learn a lot in a bathroom. So I was monitoring the bathroom situation, and the nice thing about kids is, like, they don't mess around. They just say, "Hey, are you a girl or a boy?" I can work with that, right? I can't work with angry white lady in Cherry Creek Mall, but I can work with, are you a girl or a boy? So we had established what I am, had lots of conversations about it, and the only thing that gets uncomfortable is watching their parents squirm. "Johnny, where on earth did you..." Johnny's asking a developmentally appropriate question. It is the human brain's nature to want to categorize, and when they see a curveball, they need help. Get out of the conversation. Me and Johnny are fine. So I've laid the groundwork. I'm monitoring the bathroom in the preschool room. And then I see her, and she's head to toe just like Elsa. And she looks up at me, and she looks back at her princess cronies. And she looks up at me, and she looks back at her princess cronies. And she goes like this: "You guys, Miss Courtney is so weird. She always looks so handsome. And she puts her phone in her pocket right by her boob." Now, not my first rodeo. I am a fucking grown-up. I know how to handle this situation. But her frigid Elsa hand crushed me. I was stripped of all of my power. I was a victim of bullying. So I got myself together and I stood up really tall and I said, Jordan, I think you're trying to make me feel different and you hurt my feelings. And I marched all the way to my office and I shut the door and I folded my hands over my chest. And then I remembered there were 24 4-year-olds that were unattended in the bathroom. Need a lot of help, you know? Anybody read self-help books?
Woo!
Yeah. I got a huge resentment with those self-help book writers. I read some self-help books a lot in my life, okay? And it's not the authors that I have a problem with, it's the publishers, okay? Maybe it's, I don't know. But here's the deal. They don't consider the target audience, right? I was reading these self-help books when I was like nouveau riche homeless, right? Didn't have an address, but I took a steam shower every day because I work at an athletic club. Okay? That's pretty nice. But like, let's just say you're reading some book that's like got some title that's like, How to Stop Walking on Eggshells, or Get Your Life Back Together in 10 Easy Steps. Now, I'm trying to recreate something here, so like I can't just like take that book to the coffee shop and smile at people hoping I'm gonna make friends, right? Like, you don't do me any favors. Like, why couldn't you just like change the title to be a little bit more friend-friendly? So then I was like, well, maybe I'll just cover the books like I did in school. That seemed really weird. And then, like, to add insult to injury, it's not just the title that's offensive, it's that they have to put the capital letters in the bold on the upper right-hand back page of the corner that says self and help right next to each other. That's a bummer, dude. Now, I know all of you people are thinking, like, Courtney, why didn't you just read it on your Kindle? If I was living in a tent in September, do you really think I had any assets to speak of? I watched Game of Thrones on an iPhone 4. The iPhone 4 was the only device I had for like a year. While you guys were like, ooh, GOT, I've got the bug. I was like, who's Khaleesi and her aunts? Thanks. It was good. I know. This is my birthday yesterday. I turned 34.
Woo! Yeah!
I had a tough time with that. Yeah. So thank you. Look, and I'm not trying to be offensive to the older people, all right? So just like, I don't have any problem with how old you are. I got a problem with how old I am. Do you get that? So it's not about Amy Lynn. It's not about you. Samesies. Narcissistic midlife crisis. No, but I had a really hard time with that, you know? Like, so I have like 26 people that work for me, and they're either like way older than me or way younger than me, and so I try to make I try to not to disclose my age, and I kind of blew it the other day, and well, somebody was like, well, I guess, you know, I think you're 40. So if you're not trying to disclose your age, you're not supposed to be like, what? You gotta be kidding me! I'm youthful and vivacious! Yeah, that's something that sounds like a 40-year-old would say. Like, I don't look in the mirror very long. Well, I look in the mirror, but I'm like looking at my hair, right? I'm not looking at my face. So I started looking at my face, and I was like, damn. wrinkles in here.
My hair, not your hair. Yeah.
And then there's these like grooves, really deep grooves above my eyeballs and below my hairline. And then I was like making this face in the mirror. And I was like, well, I guess that's where the grooves come from. I was like, well, all right, like, Oil of Olay says you can reverse that shit, so just stop making the face. Like, what Brandy Carlisle say I worked hard for those wrinkles? I don't know. So I'm like trying to calm the forehead down. I can't do it. Right? That's like 33 years of you don't want to fuck with me. If you had any idea what it'd be like to me, you'd be making this face too. And you can't like talk to pretty girls about it either, because they just look at you like, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I've got a girl. She's marvelous. Somebody called me Benjamin Button yesterday.
Oh, Connell.
Like, my dad always told me, like, if somebody calls you an asshole once, yeah, you shrug it off. If somebody calls you an asshole twice, you might have something to worry about, you know? It's not the first time it's been suggested that I use a daily moisturizer with an SPF. It was like, pretty girls, like, treat it like it's some mystery, right? Like, was it Colonel Mustard? In the billiard room? With a tanning bed? Was it all that stress you've been carrying with work? No, it's that I lived my life in the sunshine of Colorado, and when my dad picked me up from the pool after 120 consecutive days in the sun, he said, your face looks like a fucking baseball glove. So, you know, I have a lot of great friends out here, and it's important that I tell you how great of friends they are. There was a time not too long ago where, you know, your friends really try to encourage you to do the right thing. And so there was this particular topic that kept bubbling up. I had my life figured out, okay? So what I was gonna do is I was gonna run a 100-mile race every year, and I was gonna get into the 100-mile race in January, and then I was gonna run it in August, so that kept me busy. And then in September, I was gonna eat. And then in October, it was Halloween, so I was gonna get really excited about my costume. November was Thanksgiving, eat again. December, I have nieces and nephews, buy everybody Christmas presents, and then it's time to run again. So this was my version of, I don't ever have to love anyone ever again. I did that once and never again. But my friends had like, you know, like at first it started as like gentle suggestions. You're such a catch. Should try to go on a date. I would rather get beat up and go to the dentist. But that's not true. That's not true, Courtney. Surely you desire human connection. This is the dumbest thing. So you're telling me I desire human connection. So the thing that I'm going to do is pick up my phone. I got a 5 now. I put pictures of myself up on the thing, and then I write a little blurb about myself. And then I convince somebody that I'm going to be fun. So fun that we're going to go out. We're going to have a great time. We're going to talk about stuff. Great. I had different ideas. I was like, all right, I'll do this, and I'll get Chelsea off my back. Because if I do it, then you can't tell me I didn't try. So I was like, okay, first rule, coffee only. Not because I had like 18 cents in my savings account, but because it was quick. Second rule, go to some place with horribly uncomfortable furniture, because if it's going badly, I can be like, this back pain is debilitating. I'm sorry. Excuse me. You know, I'm 34. I lived a lot of life. Best laid plans, right? Uncomfortable furniture? Check. I'll have a coffee. Check. Other girl. I'll have a beet salad. This is not what I agreed to. I did not agree to a beet salad. If I had a nickel for every girl I had to watch eat a beet salad, I'd have like a dime. You know? Like, I really tried it. I really tried it. The conversation I found to be really tough. Really tough. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a great dater, you know? I don't drink, and I said this is what I said once on a date. I said, you know when you're really miserable, but you know you're alive? And that like made perfect sense to me about like something really cool to talk about, right? Like I was like, oh, I got this one. She was like, she didn't want to finish that beet salad either. I didn't think about a closing. So here's the deal. This is really means a lot to me that you guys are here, and it's like actually really overwhelming. And I got a lot of gratitude for that. And my story is that like it's not about like, you know, it's not about like the hero's journey, right? It's not about like this long walk to the top and getting to the top and saying like, you know, I got here. Like my story is about like I fall down and I get back up with help, and I fall down and I get back up with help. And if you're sitting in my backyard right now, you've been somebody that's been really helpful. And I wouldn't get to be up here on this stage, quite literally. So Bryn and Chelsea made this stage, and it was a bed for one of Chelsea's ex-girlfriends, which is another really funny story. You know, like, lesbians are super resourceful, you know? Like, there's a couple of stereotypes for us that I'm just perfectly comfortable living in. I take 18 holes of golf any day of the week. I don't have a truck and I can't help you move. But I'll hit the shit out of a golf ball with you. And, you know, there's a lot of new friends that threw down tonight, and there's some, I hear the food is amazing. I was way too nervous to eat any of it. So we had a guac-off between two folks here. That's pretty amazing. And, you guys got to hear Kelsey. She's got some rad pipes, right? Rad pipes. Kelsey's gonna tell us where her next open mic is, and we're all gonna show up. And Elise is been there for me. So Elise has been trying to help me with this thing for a long time. She's like, "Have you written any jokes? You might want to write some jokes." What about the jokes?
Never Taco Bell.
Right. And so she pencils me in for joke therapy in between her cheesy gorditas. And the only reason we're making any noise here tonight is because of Jen Cordy. You guys are gonna get a chance to hear her later, and if you haven't yet, you're in for a treat. You know, there's a lot of people here tonight from Crestmore. Give it up. I got to coach swimming and teach little kids there for a long time. It was the first place I drove a car legally. It was the first place I drove a car illegally. And I haven't, there's like some survivors over there. There's some survivors back there. Got a lot of old friends in the house. Got a lot of new friends in the house. There are some colleagues of mine here, so if I don't have a job on Monday, well, better to burn than fade away, I guess. You know, I gotta throw like a huge, enormous, amazing shout out to Amy Lynn. So on our second date, we like to call it 26-hour date. It's a stereotype I'm fine with. And on our second date, she said, "Hey, you should do stand up." And I said, "Yeah, yeah." And she's like, "No, no, like you should." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." And I was like, "That'll wear off, you know." And so at some point I said, "Look, like something I've always wanted to do, and I think it'd be a good idea if like I did it maybe like around my birthday party," which to me meant like that's never gonna happen. Is exactly what I meant by that. And you know, on whatever after that, she handed me a laptop. We were at a coffee shop and she handed me a laptop and she was like, "Invite your friends." And I said, "No, this isn't how that works." And she was like, "Yeah, it does." And in addition to making 18 pounds of meat. So much beef. So much beef. And coordinating an apron with the napkins. I don't know how the hell you even begin to do that. In addition to that, like she's somebody who just like wants to shine the light on not just me, but all the people here. And that's really beautiful, and I think that that's something that needs to be shouted for and celebrated. I feel really lucky to be here, and here's the deal, like there's stuff to do at this house. Bags over there, there's a ping pong table here. We got one bathroom and like 98% women. I'm working on it. I'm trying to make more dude friends. Thanks Troy for coming. Really means a lot. But stick around, and I think Jen's gonna play some music later, but you guys have been a great audience. A really great audience. There's like 75% of you I said just laugh a lot during it, and then afterwards if it's terrible just tell me afterwards. So I do want that honest feedback, and I really look forward to hearing it from you, but just remember the face. Like I'm really trying hard to like reverse the aging process. And maybe one day I can do that. So thanks everybody for coming out. Please stick around.